Let's talk about what separates a $3 million a year and less window company and a $10 million a year and plus window company. And if you're between 3 and 10 million, don't worry, you're out of luck here, but I'm just kidding. Just put yourself in the situation that if you were not over $10 million a year, you are probably in this bucket of $3 million a year, maybe relying on some of these tactics, or you're just trying to transition. At the end of the day, you want to be as little as the $3 million a year company and as most as the 10 million a year company and more. So if you're transitioning, that's good. But it's more about the actual tactics, because you can be at $10 million a year and think like a $3 million a year company, and you're not going to grow past 10 million. But if you want to grow past it, you have to do some of these things that the big shots do. And hey, I'm Carl Stoy, the founder of Stoy Media, and over the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, we've been helping service businesses scale with paid ads, filling up their pipelines with qualified people ready to talk, and we are a lead vendor and an agency. So if you're potentially interested in getting more leads on a pay-per-lead basis, getting more interested homeowners in window replacements, then click the link in the description. But let's talk about the difference between the two. And number one, a $3 million a year window company has all the control. So all control. And obviously, the $10 million a year company has less control, more delegation. And I say this is important because why? Because Stoy Media has worked with companies who demand all the control on their marketing, demand all the control in what happens, but still blame them for the bad results. They demand all the control and then wonder why they're wearing 10 hats at once. If you are in this phase where you want to be the control freak, you want to hold all the hats, you want to hold all the levers, you are never going to get to above 10 million. You're not going to get there. Or you're going to get there and you're going to have a heart attack because you've been doing everything. And here's a great example. Do you think the Pella CEO is the CMO, CTO, COO, CFO, all the hats? Do you think the Pella CEO is that? Do you think the Renewal by Andersen CEO is that? Do you think the guy in your area that is at $25, $50 million a year, do you think they hold all the hats? No. They hire good people and pay them good. They have good affiliates, have a good agency, and actually we're going to talk about that in a moment. But they have good affiliates, they have good CMOs, they have good marketing directors, they have good ops managers, they have good sales managers. They don't hold all the control. They don't lead the Saturday meetings for all your sales reps or whenever that is. They don't lead that themselves. Someone else does that, and they pay them good enough to be able to do that. And so if you're in this situation where you want to be the control freak, you want all the control, it's going to be really rough. It's going to be very rough for you to be able to scale. And let's actually talk about the marketing. The $3 million a year and less company tends to have an agency, and usually just one. So we'll just say just one agency. The 10 million and plus either has multiple agencies, like one for PPC, one for Meta, one for SEO, or they have affiliates, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment. Because Stoy Media, we're a lead vendor. We provide leads on a pay-per-lead basis, meaning we run the ads, we pay for them, we run them on our pages, and we filter them for the criteria that's going to work for you to be qualified. Homeowner, in your service area, timeline, and scope of work. And we pay for it. We have all the risk, and you just pay at the set price. And I've made a different video about this of how to have an affiliate program for your home service business. I recommend you checking that out on this channel. But it allows you to have the guarantee and reliability of just paying per lead while also having that money in. I mean, it just gives you the guarantee. That's really the basis of it. Having multiple agencies does have some sort of risk because it's a monthly fee, whether you get the results or not. So having an affiliate guarantees you those results. It guarantees the lead flow, and you can have 5 affiliates instead of just having 3 agencies on a monthly retainer every single month. Because what happens if their media buyer leaves? What if they put you on a junior media buyer? The difference with affiliates is it doesn't matter if you're working with a 100-person company or a 1-person company. You are only paying and getting leads out. That's it. And this doesn't guarantee success. I'm not saying that having affiliates or having an agency is going to get you to $10 million a year, or it's not going to. It's also heavily your processes. That's something that I'm going to talk about next. Your processes. This company, the $3 million a year, has no processes. We're going to cross it out. This one has processes and documented heavily. They usually have someone who is the HR director. They usually have someone who is doing all of the SOPs. And usually, if you're at that $5 million a year range or you don't have a head of HR, you could just do that. You focus on doing the SOPs while your sales manager runs the sales team, while your CMO manages the affiliates, manages the lead vendors, while your call center manager manages the people calling, and everything else is managed, and you just take care of the SOPs. You just make the processes that are going to move the company forward. And I made a different video, but at the end of the day, your set rate and your close rate is what is going to decide if an affiliate or an agency is going to work. The reason why I said it doesn't matter if you have an affiliate or an agency, as long as you have some sort of marketing and you follow the 10% rule, meaning 10% of your monthly revenue goes to marketing, no matter how you kind of go about that. And I made a different video called Contractor Math, where essentially you take your average ticket, your set rate, your close rate, and like I said, your average ticket, and you find out, I want to get to $25 million a year, how much do I need to spend in marketing per year in order to get that to that number? And it doesn't matter if you have an affiliate or an agency, because if you don't have good processes, if you are only setting 30% of leads, while your competition is setting 60% of leads, which is very possible. Doesn't matter if it's an agency or an affiliate. It really comes down to 3 different specific things for your call center reps, which I'm going to give those tips in a moment. But you could literally set double the appointments, close double the sales and double the business, depending on what your amount of leads is. But you could double the amount of appointments and double the amount of sales simply by just setting more leads. You could get more sales, get more revenue to the bottom line, to the top line, if your salesman just closed better. And so there's 3 specific tips if you want to increase your set rate. I'm going to just drop these really quickly. Number 1, you have to call within 3 seconds, not 5 minutes, 3 seconds. Number 2, a decent phone system that's not going to start showing up as spam. And number 3, you need to follow up ruthlessly. 3 times in the first day, 3 times in the second day, and 1 time for 3 days. 5 days total. You can easily get a 60% set rate, a 50% set rate, as long as you call within 3 seconds, 30 seconds max. Because at the end of the day, the $10 million a year window company has a lot more processes, they have a different marketing structure, they have more delegation, more people under them who they trust, and they pay well so that they can be trusted and do good at their jobs. And the final one, at the end of the day, the final one is how much you're willing to spend on marketing. So it's really marketing. We'll just put $1 sign because they're not willing to spend much. And over here, marketing is $3 signs. Now, these $3 signs versus $1 sign is not based on the actual money that you're putting in. The $3 million a year, that $1 million a year window company willing to spend 15 to 20% of their monthly revenue on marketing is going to get a lot further and is going to break out of that $1 million a year range a lot faster than that $3 million a year company spending double what the $1 million a year company is doing, but they're only spending 10%. Because what happens when that $1 million a year company gets to 2, now they get to 3, and they're still spending 20%, they're going to outbeat this $3 million a year company quickly. So the reason I put $1 versus $3 signs is the big companies are willing to spend, instead of 5 or 10%, they're willing to spend 10 to 15%. Those PE-backed companies, they spend 15% of their monthly revenue. And this isn't me, and I made a different video about how much you should be spending on marketing as a window company, but this isn't me just shouting these numbers out so I could get paid more. Your competition decides these numbers. And you can pout and yell, and why are they spending so much? That's so dumb. But they're getting more people. They're getting more people in the door. They're getting more appointments. They're getting more sales on the board. And that's just how it works. You can sit here and pout and say, why are they spending so much? That's so dumb. Or you could do it. I don't make the rules. I just sell the leads. And so if you're interested, link in the description. And this is really a basis of what could separate you. And if, like I said, if you're between 3 and 10, you may be doing some of these. And I recommend that you try and do as many of these in the $10 million a year company as possible. It's really about delegation, having a different marketing structure potentially, being really detailed in your processes, and spending more on marketing. And if you are over here in the $3 million a year doing these things, then it's just a matter of time. You just need to let God's will be done. And if you have any questions, the comments are there for a reason. And if you are interested in potentially booking a call with us to explore us being a lead vendor, then click the link in the description, fill out some basic business information, schedule a call, and we'll talk to you soon.